What up, positive vibers? Happy holidays! So, today for our special episode of this podcast, we have Karen Michelle. Karen Michelle is a Los Angeles business entrepreneur for over 30 years and has created a lifestyle brand housing fashion, along with the well known Destiny Candle, which is a 100% natural massage oil candle that turns into a luxurious body oil once worn with surprise jewelry inside, all made right here in the United States of America. Karen Michelle is also the founder and host of Love Your Body Events, which hosts women and girls of all ages, shapes, and backgrounds. Love Your Body Events are a shopping, celebrity red carpet, and runway show extravaganza which celebrates empowerment and brings women and girls together in life and business. Without further ado, we're very excited for this fashionista queen, Karen Michelle. Hello, Karen Michelle. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast, The World of Positivist, which is sponsored by the Positive Vibes magazine. We're so excited to have you. To start this interview, why don't you just tell us a bit about yourself, especially for the people who don't know you?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. Nice to meet you. So basically, my name's Karen Michelle. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. So I've been a native Californian my whole life. I worked in the communication business, primarily cellular phones, for 25 years, maybe even a little bit more. And then when the industry changed, I decided to move into the fashion world. But it was really, I didn't know that much. I knew retail, which is what I love. And so I opened my store about 9 years ago with 4 racks. And since then, it evolved and evolved and then went into Love Your Body Events, which is what I'm doing now, is producing the shows. Yeah.
Awesome. So then I was going to ask more in detail, how did you really start the Love Your Body fashion show? What really inspired you to do that? Take it from what you were starting with and evolve to that. What inspired you?
So what happened was, when I had the retail store, women and girls would come in all the time because we were a women and girls boutique. And I saw, like, I thought, you know what, for religious restrictions or people being nervous about how they saw themselves, I thought, wow, everybody should be able to, walk a runway. It's going to be fun. It doesn't have to just be where, you're not allowed to be like in a professional one with photos and video and feel great about yourself. So I think about 7, 8 years ago, I decided to have the first one. It was like 25 models, and it's exploded. I mean, thank goodness. Our next one, we already have over 209 models signed up.
Wow.
And it really, yeah, it's really fun. And it's a great day. And so basically it was me being able to create a space or an event that someone could come, have fun, feel good, and not have the anxiety or worried about how they look, or someone might, hurt their feelings and say, listen, you're not the right size. You really aren't for our show. And that's something that I needed to make sure was okay for the girls, especially young girls too.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, for a lot of people have different religious beliefs. Some, wear sleeveless, some don't, some wear pants, some don't. So we wanted to accommodate everyone. And even our designers that we have that come to the show, they also understand that. And if their outfit requires, say, sleeveless, then we get a model who's comfortable with that. And if it's not, then they understand, listen, we may have to add leggings under it, or, something simple like that. But it makes everyone comfortable.
Okay, awesome. I'm curious on, it's not on our list of questions, but I was curious on these models that you've worked with. How do they feel after the show? Do they feel empowered? Do they feel great?
Oh, there's no word. I mean, I have to say, I would say there's probably a big handful of them. This is probably their 5th or 6th event with us. And no, they feel very empowered. And it's very, the last show we had almost 1,200 people. And to walk in front of 12, people who's walking, that's a lot of people. Yeah. And when they walk down this huge runway, because we make it so it goes around so everyone can have a good spot to see. So we make it rather long, and it's I got to say, you have to be pretty brave to walk that whole, way. And they really enjoy it, and they feel great about themselves. We also do hair and makeup, which is nice. And so that's a whole other thing. We have a great team for that. And We also have models, which we'll get, which if you want to, we can do it after, is about artists for trauma. So
Mm,
we also have a lot of models with disabilities. I personally like to call them abilities or
yeah.
different abilities.
Mhm.
And it's just a fabulous, really great, I think all round, even from the girls and the women coming in for the fittings to the end of the show, it's a great experience the whole week.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
thank you.
Yeah, we're going to talk about artists with trauma later. I'm very interested in that, especially when you talk about disabilities or not exactly disabilities. You want to think that it's not an ability for them, it's just a different ability. And I
Correct.
think that's very
Exactly what I
interesting.
say. Different abilities.
Yeah, I'm actually hugely involved in the disability community on my campus. And so we have like Disability Alliance, and then we put like DIS with lowercase, and then ability totally all capital.
Exactly.
hmm
That's wonderful.
Awesome. So that's why I was really excited when I read about you and I said, oh, all bodies, disabilities, different types of bodies. I love that. And so I'm
Thank you.
curious on kind of like talking about the pandemic right now. What is the fashion world like during COVID-19? How are you doing fashion shows right now?
Well, so that's been a little tough. We were shut down for many months. So in the month of June, we had decided to do it was a dance party. So we had a great dance. We had like I think 40 or 50 women and girls, and it was just on Zoom. We hired crazy. We did a whole playlist. We hired a Zoom guy because I didn't know really how to do the Zoom. I'm not, but I wanted someone professional who could go from picture to picture. And it was like, we didn't have prizes, but it was like musical chairs. So when the camera came to you, you had to dance. So everybody went crazy. So it was like you waited to see yourself, and then all of a sudden you'd be on camera, and it was really great. We had people in the chat saying, please don't end, don't end. But everybody knows you end a party on a high and everybody wants to come back. So that was one thing we did. We also have planned, which we're working on for December, is going to be with Artists for Trauma. We're going to have the artists and other artists, actually, not just from Artists for Trauma.
Mhm.
They're going to show their artwork, and we'll have some vendors as well. So we're working on that too for December, but not with a fashion show because we still don't know, what the rules are yet. But our April show is scheduled for everything. So with COVID, you want me to go into that about COVID? That's been a little hard.
Yeah. hmm
I'm sure, and believe me, my heart sympathizes with everyone because it's just tough. It's just tough. And what happened was our show was March and we postponed it just 10 days prior. So we even had so many designers close here their styles for the show. So it was a very hard decision, Zane. I mean, it was tough. So I went over to the hotel and I said, look, I'm going to postpone it for August. And I thought, oh, I'm being so smart, 6 months, right? Who knew?
Yeah.
And so now we postponed it again till April. We have 50 vendors signed up. We have amazing sponsors. We have, like I told you, 209 plus models ready to go. And believe me, it gets crazy. Even 2 weeks before, the whole world calls, all the kids, oh, my mom forgot to sign me up. Please, can I get in? And you know me, I can't say no. So it's, yeah. So we expect look, we do think some will, drop out because of COVID.
Right.
But at the same time, we expect there'll be a big surge because everyone will want to get out by April. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. I can imagine that happening. So my question is that just talking about this, I'm curious on what is it like to plan a fashion show? And I'm curious on what is it like the 1 or 2 weeks before? Like how intense is it?
Oh,
And
it's
does it get
crazy.
any easier?
No, 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 no. You have it planned and you have a lot of the same ideas or same ways you've run it in the past that you knew were successful, but you want to every time make it better.
Right.
So 2 weeks prior, usually we do our event on a Sunday. So 2 weeks prior on that Sunday, we start, designers' clothes are coming in. We start getting the VIP bags ready. We confirm all the photographers, the video. Vendors are already secure. We work on the food. And then about the week before, we have a space where we have all the clothing from the designers,
Mhm.
and then all the models come in to be fitted, and we have, say, 3, 4 stylists on site,
Okay.
and everybody's getting crazy, and you got to remember to take a picture of everybody. And yeah, so it's crazy. But then the night before is insane, because you go and you set up, and then 5 a.m. you're back and you're ready to go, because the vendors start to come in about 8:30. So you have to be ready. Yeah,
Wow.
so it's yeah, we have, I mean, with 50 vendors, it's a lot, because it's a big shopping event too. So it's businesses trying to get out there. And then this year, we tried it a few years ago, but I think we did too many speakers. So this time we're going to have, like, if you have a business in fashion, you're able to go to like a separate room or a separate space, because we'll see, well, obviously the COVID rules, and we will have like a speaker talking about fashion and how to help your business. So it'll help
Right.
people in all, and that can help in any business too. Doesn't just have to be fashion.
Right,
Yeah,
because I can imagine the stuff you learn from these experts, or you can take anywhere. Um,
correct.
that's awesome. I love that there's the educational aspect, that it's not just about showing these clothes, also about helping businesses and helping the fashion world grow. And I really love that.
Yes, and we have influencers, and we do a scavenger hunt, and it's
Wow.
really a great day for businesses too, especially, everybody is, it's going to be different, because a lot of businesses are going to make it, some aren't, and people have to, we have to all adapt now.
Right. Yeah. Great. So, talking about adapting and more on COVID-19 just a bit, I'm curious on what your company, your brand, and even you personally, what have you done to remain productive and positive during these times? And it's very easy to get to feel kind of down in
Depressed.
yeah, depressed, down in the gutter during these times. And it's just like, when you feel that, if you personally do, what do you do to pick yourself up?
Me personally, wow. Well, me personally, well, I have to say it was a little hard. I've been wearing makeup. I'll just tell you something like a little cuckoo. I've been wearing makeup probably since I'm 13, a full face. And then when COVID hit, and I didn't have anybody to see, and nobody, you couldn't leave your house, or I still came to my office every day. That was one thing I did do. I came, by myself to my office, just to have that change of sitting in my house from, a nightgown to getting dressed to coming to work. But I found that when I stopped wearing makeup, and I stopped, put my hair in a ponytail or whatever, and I didn't want to get up, that's when I knew, Karen, you need to even get up more and go to your office, because it's, you put yourself in a rut, you get it. And I think also you try to be there for other people, because I have my mom, and so now, funny enough, we have so much time together, which has been nice. And so there's just different changes, but I mean, I'm a very social person. As you can see, I talk a lot. So
I love
it
it.
was it was very COVID has hit me hard, because I was a moviegoer. I love seeing my friends, but a few of my girlfriends, I will say, we made like we'll do in everyone in a backyard. We'll sit and talk, but we'll be, everybody spaced out, because everyone has their mom or an elderly person or a kid, and we spread out, and it's just, it's funny, it's almost like therapy. You like go through, hey, how are you doing, and then everybody goes down with how their life is, where each of their kids are, what everybody's doing. And you know what, you can't give up. I mean, things could be worse. So it's like, you can't, cannot give up, cannot give up.
Yeah, I was thinking of that recently, that, even though it's a hard time, there's still something to look forward to for some people. Some
Yes.
people have very little. Some are definitely suffering really hard right now, but
Yes.
for a lot of us, try and recognize the stuff that we do have, and kind of embrace that.
Yes, and you try to embrace even a small part,
Right.
like even that one girlfriend or that one, person. And listen, sitting in your house is very, I mean, I'm talking for me, it's very hard. And I've been working since I'm 51. I've been working since I'm probably, I mean, had my own business since I'm 20, and 6 days a week, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then all of a sudden, sorry, close your store. It was like, it was scary. It was scary, but we want everyone to be safe. But at the same time, we need, my personal opinion, I'm sorry, is we need the economy to reopen. because it's just, I think people are suffering very badly in their homes, but
Right.
yeah.
Great. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I'm curious on your brand. So, what makes your brand, your store, your fashion show, what makes it unique from, you know, everything else in the fashion world?
My brand and part of the, pieces that I make also for my clothing line were made for all sizes, young girls, women, and it went from juniors all the way to 3X. And I, like myself, sometimes it was very hard to find clothes, or, I mean, there's only like one chain store that I ever went to, because that was also what I was going to tell you, is a lot of department stores and a lot of designers have changed the way they look at inclusive size, extended sizes, excuse me. And I'll give you an example. I was in Bloomingdale's like a year and a half ago,
Mhm.
and we walk in and I said, "Oh, where's, the women's section, for, size 12 and up?" "Oh, we got rid of that. There's one rack in the back." And I was like, "Whoa." That was like, "What do you mean you got rid of it? What about everyone who's size 12 and above?" Yeah,
Yeah.
it just didn't, So I think that with my brand, what made it unique is we include everyone, we embrace everyone. And, look, not everything is for everybody. Someone may not like the styles we make. We make a lot of basics and a lot of black. I love black. So it, and I found that also people like standard colors, black, charcoal, gray. I mean, excuse me, black, charcoal, and navy. So I think that what makes us stand out and Karen Michelle lifestyle brand is that we make items for everyone, which is nice, which is great. And it's all inclusive. And you know what? I needed clothes too. And if I didn't, other people, you know what I mean? A lot of people did.
Mhm. Right. And then so perfect that you're saying talking about why your brand's unique, but I'm curious on maybe it's kind of an obvious question, but some people may not be convinced that this is important. But why do you think that fashion brands or the industry should be focusing on inclusive body types in this industry? Why do you think there should be equal representation of all body types? I
Well,
know it
because
may
I
be an
think
obvious question, but some people kind of need convincing on why that's important.
Well, I think everybody's different. I think there are so many different people that it's not fair to just focus on one part of an industry. And I think that I think truly you have to look at everybody. People are different sizes. You know, people have different, I don't want to say body parts, but people have different, parts of their body that may not fit like everyone else. And I think that if people would embrace everyone more, then I think it would be more acceptable to that it's okay that everyone is different. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it totally does. And yeah, I think it could be, troubling or almost problematic when you see the same type of bodies always being portrayed by the media. And even if you're not told like exactly that, oh, you should be ashamed of your body, because I don't think a lot of people say that. But I think if you're seeing a perpetual body image, in a way you feel different. You feel kind of
Then you feel
other.
bad.
Yeah, because you're like, I'm not anything like that.
Exactly.
And it's almost like it's built like this kind of standard for a certain body type, and so people who don't fall under that category are going to feel, like you said, that have the anxiety, the internalized anxiety, and it can be very hard to break out from that because it's your thoughts, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think that just speaking from my own experience in terms of shopping and
Mhm,
seeing women and girls for like the last 9, 10 years,
mhm,
I think that moms and daughters like to shop. I think sisters, I think best friends, I think girlfriends. And I think that if you have a store that's inclusive of everyone. For example, if I went to a store with a girlfriend who might be a size 6, well, she might buy something, but then there may not be something for me. And so I think that if people were more inclusive, how do you explain it? If people were more inclusive and the fashion world was, the designers said, hey, this is what it is, people would embrace it. I really believe that. But unfortunately, quite a few large designers, bigger names, which we don't have to say their names,
right.
they don't even make plus lines anymore. And on top of it, even if they do, you can only find them online. They're not in the stores anymore. And that's what's been very different. I know of only one designer plus size shop in my whole area, and I live right here in the city of LA, and a designer one. I mean, there is still a couple of chains, but if you wanted something, you know, even for an evening, you can only now go online. Maybe there's certain places that embrace some sizes, but I do agree with you, Zane. If publicly designers, magazines, news would show a little bit more of different sizes, the mass public would feel more comfortable and be more inclusive.
Mhm. Yeah. Wow. No, I really love that. I think that it is really important to, showcase all different types of bodies because like you said, everyone is different, and you don't want to put out what a standard is. You don't want there to be a standard for people to have to live under, showcasing all those different types of bodies or different colors or different abilities like we were talking about, or different genders or anything. I think that people will just kind of embrace themselves more and feel more comfortable, and it'll affect everything, like their
Exactly.
self-esteem, their mental health, their self-care. And I think that's really important. So I
Exactly. And you know, one thing today, even like teenage girls, for example, 14, 15, 16, your body hasn't developed yet. And you're putting yourself on Instagram, waiting and waiting for someone to like your photo or who shared your photo or who saw your photo. And if you know, didn't have what you thought the norm was, you'd be confident in yourself. And I'm not saying, God forbid, I'm not saying everybody's like that. I'm saying
right.
that some, you know, it's just a way. So that's what we did at Love Your Body is we try to embrace everyone, and there's a complete respect at our show. Somebody is, I mean, no, it doesn't even happen. There's no out of line, there's no rudeness. You don't even need to have anxiety because not one human being is going to say to you, oh, that dress doesn't look good on you, know, or something like that.
Right, because everyone knows, and everyone who's attending your show knows what you stand by. Um, yeah, so
Correct.
I'm
And they
happy
know
that
the philosophy. Correct.
right, and I'm so happy that so many people go to your shows because people are starting to see that this is becoming like a movement, and even from like an economic standpoint, to me, it doesn't make much sense on businesses because I think that nowadays with the diversity of bodies and just how many different people there are and different bodies there are, it would kind of make sense that you would embrace that kind of thing because a lot of brands are kind of under fire for doing that now. And I think this is a time where companies really kind of need to change that because not just to do it just because, oh, we're going to get in trouble. No, that's part of it. So you don't get in trouble. And two, so you make all your consumers feel comfortable. You want to make sure all your customers have a great experience. And so they
Correct.
come to your store. And then it's like, and if you just think about it, if you have like such a diverse, set of clothes, it's like you'll get so many different audiences and you'll get more people. And I just think that's a great business strategy. I'm not very businessy, but I think it would make
No, no,
sense.
no, exactly. And you want people to come to the shows too and be happy. And one thing about our show, even from the past, it's inclusive of everybody, even backgrounds, even ethnicities, even size, shape. Like we said, it's everything. And we've always been inclusive. So it's always been I mean, when I say safe, of course it's safe, but I mean a safe space that no one's going to get their feelings hurt. And getting your feelings hurt is very, you know, is not a great thing. So we like to keep it very fun and light and happy.
And back to
Yeah,
your point where you said, when, 14, 15, 16-year-old girls post pictures of themselves of their body on Instagram, they're looking for that, that kind of,
validation.
yeah, they're looking for that validation. And I talked to a full figured model recently, and her philosophy was trying to find the acceptance of your own body yourself, try not to rely on what other people think. And it's very hard, of course. I mean, you have to
Exactly.
totally retrain your whole mind because, we're bombarded with people's opinions and different opinions all the time. It's just sometimes, even when you have like a successful brand or a big brand, you have to worry and think about all the different factors. And so that's where it gets hard. And so it's hard to train yourself to say, this is how I feel about myself. And that's really what's all important. Um,
Exactly. And you have to feel good internally and on the outside. And you have to, take care of yourself. Listen, people do certain things. Some wear makeup, some fix their hair, some wear great clothes, just even taking a shower, good hygiene. I mean, all those things are things that make yourself feel good.
Great, awesome. So then, I love this conversation, but tell us about your work with Artists for Trauma. What exactly is the organization? How did your brand get involved with that?
Okay, so about 2 years ago, I was introduced to Laura Sharp, the CEO of Artists for Trauma, who is a trauma survivor. And I was introduced to her because she came to the Love Your Body event. And then we had met, and she says, one sentence, can some of the AFT, the Artists for Trauma models in wheelchairs be in your show? There was no hesitation, of course. Well, that was it. She joined us. We're having one main thing I did get out of it is I acquired a very, very wonderful friend. So I'm very happy about that too. We have a great friendship. And what they do is they help trauma survivors or veterans who've come back, wounded warriors, come back, heal through art. So they have paired a person with a victim with excuse me, we don't like to use the word victim, actually, survivor,
Right.
with an artist, a photographer, a painter, a musician, and they help them to recover. Their theme, I believe, is the art of recovery. So it's an amazing organization. If you don't mind, could I take a minute and tell you about what we just did this week?
Yeah, tell us for
Oh,
sure.
it was amazing. And I will even send you some pictures after. So
Yeah.
what we did was I actually was asked to join the board of directors of Artists for
Oh,
Trauma. So of
great.
course yes, thank you. So I accepted that graciously a couple of months ago. And we had a project called Risk It. And what we did was at the California Rehabilitation Institute on Century Park in Century City, an Olympic.
Mhm.
What we did was they have a car simulator that's out on the patio where a lot of the people come to do their rehab on the patio. So there's a lot of wheelchairs, there's a lot of people on crutches. It's a rehab center. So people come. So one main thing for spinal cord injuries is that and I'll send you when the video's done. The gentleman who's been in a wheelchair for about 35 years, he said it perfectly. He says, his name's Tommy Hollenstein, and he said that the first transportation for a spinal cord injury is their wheelchair. The second is getting in and out of a car to start going places with their wheelchair. So at the Institute, they had a simulator so that people could learn how to go in and out of the vehicle after in rehab. So what Artists for Trauma did with many sponsors, including myself and others, we brought in Risk, who is an amazing world-renowned graffiti artist,
Wow.
and he painted the simulator. So it went from this boring beige to all of a sudden, I mean, he started with the spray paint. I'm thinking, what's he doing? It had pink, purple, green. All of a sudden, then he put the most beautiful butterflies, and it transformed into the most beautiful, picturesque item. It was just beautiful. And the hospital was so gracious and happy and grateful because they thought this is going to really help, the patients to be like to see it and all of a sudden go, wow, that's so beautiful,
Yeah.
and to be happy. And it was just a wonderful day, wonderful day. And the gentleman that I told you about, he paints with his wheelchair wheels. So he painted the most beautiful painting too, side by side with Risk. It was really, I got to tell you, it was a great day. So that's just one of the projects.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be, Laura is going to be one of my partners for Love Your Body in April, which
Wow.
will be great. Yeah, because it's just, it's just a great, it's a great combination, her and I. Yes.
Yeah. Wow. That sounds amazing. What a great
Thank you.
collaboration.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
That's so exciting. Wow. That's so exciting. Sorry. I need to look more into this Arts with Trauma right after this.
Yes.
Awesome. But so my next question is, do you have any advice for people who are interested in a career in fashion? And what do you think these people should be doing right now? Is it research, networking? What do you think people should be doing right now?
I think always do your research and have a plan, have a business plan, have a creative plan. You have to do money with business too, and creativity with business. So have a plan. And if it's really what you want and it's your dream, go with it. And remember one thing, there's really no mistake. If you had a vision or a decision and you changed your mind or it didn't go well, it's just a learning experience. And I've had a lot of those. And one thing I will say takes me a little time is you should listen to other like listen to what they have to say too. And even if you don't, want to do what they say, it's okay too, but be open to it in case, because to be honest, like I told you before, I don't know all this Zoom stuff. I don't know, a lot, my age bracket was not someone who grew up with a computer. So there are things, or I have a woman who handles our social media who's 10 times better than me because I'm not the type to know how to do it. So always, it's okay to take advice and to listen and have great ideas and to work with someone as a team is nice too. But just remember, it's not a mistake. That's what I'd really like to say. So if they think, oh, I'm a failure, no, just change it up. It was just a mistake for the moment. Move on.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like mistakes, I don't think it's a mistake unless you didn't learn from it. So I think
Correct.
right. So yeah, so I think it really is a mistake if you continue it but you don't really improve on it or try and change. But I like that there really are no mistakes if you can learn from it. But that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. So did you have anything else you wanted to bring up that we haven't talked about? Anything?
Yeah, if it's okay. I mean, I'm sure your podcast goes, more than just LA, but if someone is in
Mhm.
LA or they have a brand or they want to be a model or part of our show or even a guest, please, we'd love to have you. We'd love to have everyone. And feel free to, you can go on our social media and just message us, or you're even welcome to call me 310-890-1969. I'm
Okay.
open to everything.
Awesome.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to be, if they even have a question, they're welcome to it.
Awesome. Oh yeah, and that I was gonna make a point, but I forgot. But when you said be open to it right now, it reminded me. Yeah, when you said before being open to advice, I just think being open to anything is really important. Like any opportunity that comes your way, consider it. Maybe not the most, but if you really feel it's not the best for you, then definitely reconsider it. But I think opening like your heart to everything. You never know where you're gonna land. You never know what your passions are until you open yourself up. Try not to be
Exactly.
stuck in a certain mindset, which is kind of like the theme here. Like, don't be stuck with the mindset of, oh, portraying this type of body or stuck in this old mindset. Just be open to everything, be open to everyone, and consider what those possibilities are. That's like my final thoughts.
That's great. No, and you never know, it might be something you might remember down the road in 2 years that you thought, you know what, I felt this way then. Let me be open about it again, or, like that as well. And it's really a great, it's really a great thinking because even with COVID or not COVID, business is hard. You want to make sure you're doing the right things. You want to have, good clients and customers, and you want to work well with people and, and feel good. You don't want work to be about work. You want it to be about going in, enjoying, doing your passion. My passion is people. So that's my passion. Doesn't matter. I mean, of course, I have to feel good about what I'm selling. I wouldn't go sell something I wouldn't use myself or wouldn't, do myself. But at the same time, my passion is the people, which is great,
Yeah,
which I like for me.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I definitely agree with trying to find the enjoyment in what you do. Like what Confucius said, if you enjoy your job, you're not going to really work. Um, may not necessarily be true or untrue, especially since some jobs people love are a lot of work. But I just think that if you find, especially since a lot of people's lives are their work, so like 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, a lot of the chunk of their life is their work. But if you can enjoy that work, I think hopefully you just find a lot of joy in life,
I
especially
think you enjoy yours.
definitely.
Yes. I can see because even before we started, you were so kind in the way you talk and you're very passionate,
Yeah, I love doing
which
this.
is good.
Yeah, but thank you so much. Did you have any other final thoughts before we go?
Final thoughts. Well, no, just be you. You know what I mean? Just be who you are and be you and just, you know, wake up every morning and there's a saying that you wake up every day and you have a new chance again. You're a new person again. You're
Yeah.
reborn every night.
Oh, I love that.
So,
Oh, I
you
love that.
know, I'm sorry?
I love that.
And you're reborn. Thank you. And you're reborn every, I didn't say it, but thank you. And you're reborn. So, you know what? In the morning, and have a great team around you. Your family's important, your partner's important, your spouse, that's why I say spouse, partner, child, work people, just, and have a good team. Have a really good team around you. And that's my big thing every time we've had a show or an event, because we do quite a few other events too, like just fun, red, and we do red carpet. It's fun. And I always say thank you to my team because wouldn't be here without them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I love the quote where you said, you're kind of reborn every day. And I think it's true. I think you get a second chance every single day.
Every
And
day.
it really depends on how you want to use it. If you kind of want to keep repeating what you've done every day, but if you want to take that chance and try to be a new person, a better person. I saw a video where this girl said, you just need to be 1% better every day. So sometimes it can be hard, like, oh, you wake up every morning like, oh, I messed up so much the day before. I have so much to change, so much to do. That's overwhelming. And at that point, you're going to burn yourself out on how much you need to change. Instead,
Correct.
just take the time to make those small little changes, and eventually you're going to be okay, because along the line, you're improving all the time. And people who try to make big changes in such a small time period, it's just too overwhelming for people. And I think when you take the time to really improve yourself slowly and even very on a small scale,
Yeah, and
it's still a
and
great
also
improvement.
yeah, and also if you can do one small kind gesture a day, even the smallest, that's outside of your it's not just for yourself, that's also very nice to do if you can do that. Like even, I don't know, something like write somebody a note, or just say text somebody and say have a great day. That's also, just a one small thing. And if you do something like that, you'll feel good too. It's interesting, but you'll feel really good about it.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, because you're kind of giving back. You feel a little validated that you're doing good in the world. I think that's great. But thank you so much, Karen Michelle. It's great to hear about your
Oh,
brand
thank
and
you,
you.
thank you,
You're so
thank you.
welcome. And you said your number. We'll put it in, and people
My
can.
crazy phone number I put out. It's all right. And our event is April 18th, 2021, with, of course, the state requirements. So we'll go from there.
Great. Thank you so much, Karen Michelle. You have a great rest of your day, and definitely
Thank
check out the
you.
episode when it comes out.
Oh, no, yes, please. We want to post it and everything. I want to see it.
Awesome. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Zane.
Thank you so much, Karen Michelle, for coming on this episode and just sharing your story. It takes courage to share your story, especially as one as powerful as yours, being an entrepreneur, an inclusivity advocate, and just the many other things that you do. We're very excited for next year for Love Your Body fashion show, and you really embody what it means to be a positive viber. And we were super excited that we were able to interview you for the World of Positivist podcast, because you really embody what it means to be a positive influence in this world. So thank you so much, everyone, and thank you again, Karen Michelle, for the work you do in this world.